Hello everyone, what's up? Today I'm going to be teaching you about advertising. What? Because basically the most useful thing you can do if you want to earn money online or use the internet to leverage your life is know how to advertise properly. That's the thing everybody wants that's relevant to any service you do, any skill you have, because money comes from products and services being combined with traffic. You can't just have a product. You can have the best product in the world. You could have the cure to COVID, but if it's sitting in your garage, nobody knows it's there. It doesn't matter. It basically doesn't exist, right? Marketing is so incredibly important. And I'm not a marketing expert by any means. I'm just a person who's here and I'm teaching you about what I understand about it and how I was able to get it to be useful. And what you need to know is a couple theories. You need to know competition theory and interaction theory. And we're going to talk about both of them and how they're relevant to your marketing and your branding, okay? So let's start with interaction theory. Basically, a person A and your product, your brand, whatever, your service, literally whatever it is you do. If you're an artist and you want to paint, that's your product. I'm not saying, okay, this towel is a product. This video I'm making, you're watching now, is a product. I'm not talking about just that kind of stuff. I mean, anything you have that you're trying to sell, it's a product. Interaction theory believes that person A will always eventually take your product if they interact with you and your brand enough. And you can imagine that it takes a person 7 interactions to actually engage and purchase your product, okay? So this is like what's called like a warm lead. The hardest marketing in the world, and the marketing you're probably going to try and do and fail and waste your money at, is cold marketing. This is when you're trying to force somebody through emotional manipulation to buy something from you on one interaction. And it's fucking dumb, and it's really hard to do. You need ludicrous amounts of money, and it's not good for people because it's manipulative, and they end up with products that they don't actually need. So fuck that, okay? We're going to be talking about how do you actually connect with people who need and will benefit from your product, not how do you sell your bullshit to someone who doesn't need it, okay? I'm not talking about that. And I'm going to make that distinction because most marketers are just selling bullshit to people who don't need it. I'm talking about how do you connect your solution with a product, with people who need it, who actually want it, who really, really need it. Interaction theory. How do you get a person to want to interact with your product or brand 7 times before they will even buy something? How can you be so useful to them that they keep coming back to your website, that they keep seeing your face, that they keep seeing your brand? How do you get them to come back? These are the questions you need to answer yourself. And you can do it within the frame of these 2 theories. How do you get a person to want to visit your website 7 times? Think about that and produce it, and you will find success. If you're thinking, okay, I got this product and I get 10% if when I sell this Amazon thing, I get this link. Yes, okay. Well, I just need to spread this link everywhere. It's going to get you a bit of money, but it's not going to change the future, and it's not going to change your life drastically. If you want to make meaningful change in your life, you need to produce meaningful change in the lives of other people, okay? How do you create a brand or a product that's so recognizable that an individual sees you and interacts with you 7 times. How do you make that happen? Stop cold marketing. Seriously, it's fucking hard as hell. Almost impossible in a lot of situations. The only way cold marketing works, and again, cold marketing is trying to get a person to buy something after one interaction. They see your ad, go to your website, and buy something. And that's actually not one interaction, by the way. They see your ad, that's one interaction. They go to your website, that's another interaction. And then they buy something, that's 3 interactions. So that's actually still really challenging. You really want to figure out, how can I be useful for 6 interactions and have a paid option for the 7th one? Because the reality is, most people aren't going to give a fuck about your paid option until they've reacted with you and you've brought benefit to them. You've brought something useful. Then they will engage with your paid product. And you don't focus on cold marketing. Don't focus on that bullshit, because it makes you have to focus on manipulation, and it gets further away from the usefulness of your product. Focus on, how can you have 6 useful interactions with your user? How can you provide 6 different things of value to them before you even suggest that you have a paid product? That's the way you got to think, okay? So that is interaction theory. The next thing you need to understand is competition theory. And this believes that the money you earn boiled down to an hourly rate, the potential for that, like say that you boil down everything you're doing and you're looking for the potential of $100 an hour, okay? That potential is directly, inversely correlated to the amount of competition in the thing you're doing. It doesn't matter what industry, doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're competing with 2 million people, you will earn less money. It's a direct or indirect exponential correlation. The more competition, the less the maximum hourly rate becomes, okay? If you want to maximize your money and you want to earn as much as possible, and you should always be asking yourself this. Whenever you're learning anything, you should be asking yourself, how much competition does this have? And is there a way for me to rise above that competition? What can I do to get a competitive advantage so that my 1 hour goes as far as my competition's 4 hours? How do I have less competition in the things that I want to do? How do I pick things that don't have that much competition? And there's one basic piece of advice regarding the answer to that question. Are you trying to earn money today? Because then you're competing with the largest amount of potential competitors in the world. No matter what you're trying to do, if you're sell your art today, you're trying to drop ship today, you're trying to go earn money today, then you're basically totally ignoring competition theory, because you are stepping into the competitive territory that is the single most competitive territory in existence. If you want to be competitive and compete in a scene where there's exponentially less competition, all you have to do is focus on earning money in 6 months, earning money in a year, earning money in 2 years. Seriously, that's it. If you can apply these 2 theories, how do you apply interaction theory? How do you make something useful? How do you make a useful brand for people and become useful where other people, they want to reuse you. They want to see your face again. They're excited They feel like you gave them something and they didn't give you anything. How do you get them to feel that way 6 times before you even introduce them to a paid product? You have to do that, and you have to think about competition theory. How can you be in a scene where you don't have that much competition? Like me, I'm making this website just so I can educate people in third world countries. I have no competition, let me tell you, because all of the people who are trying to help third world countries, okay, I'm saying all, the vast majority of them, they're trying to feed them, build schools, and give them shitty public education systems that are outdated and don't apply modern information and show them how to earn money online. That's my competition. I'm competing with people who have to build physical buildings, convince people, and build them, and then they still don't change the local's life anywhere near as much as they could by just using the internet a little tiny bit. I have like no competition, and it's awesome because it's also really unlikely that I'm gonna get competition because the reality is the world doesn't give a fuck. Especially the United States. Most United States citizens don't think that the US's resources should go to Latin America. That's reality. And I can use that because it means that it's very unlikely that somebody is going to be trying to educate people on YouTube in Spanish-speaking countries and doesn't even care about making money. It's like, that's why I can get these kind of viewership rates with such little money. It's because it's so easy for me to inspire these people because they've been starved of information. The things I'm telling them sound unbelievable, even though they are a reality. Competition is very important, and iterations is very important. You don't even need to know how you're going to earn money, because in the beginning of any brand or focus, you should be focusing on who are the people that I want to build something for. What's the solution I want to offer? Where are the problems I want to solve? And who has those problems? All right? And I think with that, we are almost through everything. You guys get what the backbone of a really solid marketing campaign needs to be. It's more than just some product that you offer that's not even yours, that you didn't create, that barely even matters. Some white labeled product that doesn't make anybody's life better. This isn't the advertising video for you, and you're probably not even watching this video anymore. I'm telling you how you can create meaning and how much it costs to change another person's life. Because believe it or not, to give access to life-changing information to a person on this earth who already uses YouTube and is already exposable costs about 2 cents per unique person. Think about that. Every dollar you spend could expose 50 people to information that can change their lives. And it takes 1 in 100, 1 in every 200 people to actually apply information they're exposed to. So in reality, around $10 of expenditure can produce a person in a third world country that is going to utilize this information. And that's not much. And that's the kind of shit that makes me feel inspired. I'm going to be talking about Google AdSense. This is the only thing that I really know a lot about because I have a lot of experience making YouTube videos. So that led into using AdSense and figuring out how I can use it in a very useful way for myself, right? So let me see here. This should be my AdSense screen. So I'm going to be talking about my informative product. This is not a for-profit project, just so you know. What I'm about to show you is a education product. And at the moment, I just spend money on advertising. It doesn't have anything else. It's all in Spanish, and all you need to understand is that it's a resource to convince a person that it's possible for them to earn money online. You must ask yourself the question, what can I do for people in developing nations? My life has been built upon the suffering and struggle of these people. How can I do something for them? And that's what I'm trying to do. And that's what I'm using advertising to accomplish, okay? All you need to understand about the website is the goal right now is to get people to think, to challenge what they think. Because I've lived here in Nicaragua, in this developing country, as a US person would put it, or in the third world. I've lived here for 3 years. And I can tell you something about the people here. They're basically exactly the same as you. They just have less material access. There's more conservatives. There's more liberals. There's Nicaraguan liberals. There's Nicaraguan conservatives. It's the same. They just speak Spanish. There's religion here, and then there's a bunch of young people who hate religion. The same. You think it's so different, but it's not. And there's so much judgment from the United States about Latin America, despite the fact that the United States is a significant contributing factor to most of the corruption in Latin America. The United States historically purposefully undermined and destabilized nations, and there's no argument about that. You can get a lot of direct quotes from U.S. officials, both Republican and Democrat, who routinely, purposefully destabilized the governments here. We fueled a war on drugs that put people in Latin America in a position where it was more profitable for them to make drugs and sell them to a foreign country than it was for them to work in their own countries and make their lives better. We cannot be angry at them. It is so hypocritical. We are responsible for the suffering in Latin America. And I firmly believe that there are things that we can do to atone for this and to make up for it. All these people need is access to information that they can use the internet to change their lives. That is it. Everything else will happen. They don't need food. They don't need more electronics, more cell phones, more of that. That will happen. What they need that leads to everything else is encouragement to earn money online and information in how to do it. Because these people only need $5 an hour online. Only $5 an hour is enough for them. Think about that. Our wealth is spread unfairly, and it's wrong because it was taken from these people's ancestors. They deserve it just as much as we do. And it is wrong that we judge Latin America the way we do. Their drug wars are not some foreign problem. They are our fault. We are responsible. And it is our responsibility to work on this and to do what we can to increase access to information for Latin American people. So, now that I've gotten through with that ethical rant, you get what this website is, right? It's a resource of information. It's stuff to get them to realize they can earn $5 an hour. You realize when I meet a local here and I tell them they can earn $5 an hour entry level online, they tell me, you're wrong. That's too much money. They don't believe me. Think about that. Think about what that means for how little effort it takes to change these people's situation. So now that I'm done with that rant, you get it. You get what this website is. I've ranted at it. I've expressed myself. You get it, okay? It needs to be way better. There's way too much text. There's only one Spanish video. It needs to have like 20 Spanish videos convincing people, showing people what they can do to earn money online. Attacking the insecurities and the things that they think that are just wrong. That's the goal of this. I'm not saying it's the best at all. It's a horrible version of itself right now because all it is one video and then a bunch of text. All this text needs to be converted into video format. Each paragraph needs to have a short, specific video in Spanish with a very specific point, and I need to just consistently add to that over and over again. You can see it's not at that point yet, but that's okay. This is the product. But remember, in order for income to even be possible, products have to meet traffic. And this isn't even for profit yet. In the future, I'm going to have a for-profit component in it. But for right now, that's not the point. And the way that's going to work, just so you know, because I really don't want to fuck with people. Like, I don't want to charge people money they can't afford. I don't even want to charge most of these people. But there's a distinction. The free resource is made to get the Nicaraguan person with little or average skill sets to believe they can learn online, show them how to, and get them a job. That's the free part. The paid part is a different approach. The paid part will be teaching them how to make work. Because there's a difference. Getting a job is very different than creating jobs, creating work. Like what I specialize in is how do I spend my hours today doing something that will pay me or change my life a year from now, 2 years from now, 4 years from now? What can I do today that if I work on it regularly, a little bit every day for 6 months, I can stop? And it will still keep going. How do I do that? That is what I believe all people, all humans should focus on. That's how you make your own work. It's a complete mentality shift from how do I find work? And ideally, all humans are doing this, but the problem is that that's idealistic. And the reality is helping people find jobs is something they will actually do. I've met people and told them things and they've gotten work. My girlfriend went from not believing she could work online and working at call centers for like $2.50, $3 an hour to teaching English entry level, working $5 an hour, doing whatever she wants with her schedule, working more, working less as she pleases. And it only took her a month or two, just applying and not completely believing that it was possible, and she still got it. And you know what? If she lost that job, she can just get another one because there's millions available. But there's more jobs available online at $5 an hour than there are people in Nicaragua. So literally every single person here could work online at $5 an hour. Yet people ask, is it possible? How is that possible? I don't believe you. There's not enough work for that. They don't see the whole picture. They don't understand how big the world is, and they're too lost in their insecurities at being from a third world country because of all the bullshit that the first world countries speak and all the politics and the lack of basic understanding that we are all human. And the people suffering in other countries, they're your brothers, they're your sisters, they're your children, and they're your parents, just as much as anybody from your own country. What, you have pride from the country you're from? Fuck that. You should have pride for being human and being from Earth. Your brothers and your sisters are not the people in the country you are born in alone. They are every other human on this planet. And you are far, far more similar to every single one of these people than you are different. We just focus on the differences. But they're wrong. Those differences are minor when you think about how much we have in common. We want to be around people who love us. We want to be supported. We want to be encouraged. We want to feel respected. We need food. We need shelter. We want to be able to feel like we're listened to. We want to be able to express ourselves. We want friends who we love. We want to be supported by our family. Some of us are religious. Some are not. There are many young people and many old. We have two hands. Some of us like to work with our hands. Other people prefer our minds. Other people prefer sports. Everything I'm saying applies to every person in every single country, and you think that they're different, but you are wrong. Even people in North Korea have more in common with you than they have different, and we focus too much on the differences. Everybody on this planet is our brothers and our sisters and our children and our parents. It doesn't matter if they're from a different country. It's our responsibility as people who have it well to change the lives and increase access to material and information for people who don't have it well. That's your job as a human. Figure out how you can make the lives of other humans better. I've talked about the free part of the product, and I've talked about how advertising, it's so easy to waste money, okay? Like it really, really is easy. I'm going to be showing you about YouTube ads. So what kind of YouTube ads am I talking about? Whenever you're browsing YouTube like this, if you look and you notice there's an ad and then you can skip it, boom, that's exactly the kind of advertisement I'm talking about. Because here in Nicaragua, about 3 million, a third of the population, so less than that actually, around 2 million people live in the district of the capital city. A lot of these people, a large quantity of them, have access to cell phones. People don't think of YouTube as something that can educate them. They think of it as something that's entertaining or just purely entertainment value, right? But loads of people have access to it, and loads of people here have cell phones. It's not common to have a laptop, but it is fairly common to have a phone or a smartphone. Actually, smartphones are everywhere nowadays. These people are already watching YouTube, so I can already reach up to around like 1 million, 1.5 million individuals over a year. That is possible. That's the upper limit of the group I'm working with, okay? And I'm going into detail as much as I can in this video about marketing because there's so many different factors that you need to consider. And a lot of you will be like, oh, Jack, you're not even trying to make money. And like, it doesn't matter. I will be trying to make money in the future. And here's my point about money. If you focus on money, it's always going to be something that controls you. But if you separate yourself from money, you can get yourself to a position where money isn't something that controls you. It's something that you earn relative to what you want to accomplish. And that's how you want to think. It shouldn't be, how can I earn more money? Because that enslaves you. The reality is, you should be asking yourself, how do I motivate myself to want to earn more money? What can I do that feels so meaningful to me that I will figure it out? These are the questions you need to ask. So let's give some context on this website. It's existed for around a year in a very primitive form. It was even more primitive. Basically, before, it was just this information. It was like, you can earn money online, but you can't link your PayPal account. So here's how to work around that. And that's it. It wasn't enough, and it's still not enough, but that's okay. It was very minor. And all I did was a very basic test campaign. I'm not going to get into setting campaigns up or anything. I'm going to tell you that you don't have to be a YouTuber. You can literally lose your YouTube account and immediately make a new Google AdSense account and just start making new videos and paying for people to watch them. It's irrelevant if you have an audience when it comes to advertising. Having an audience is nice because you can just make a video and not do any advertising and it'll get some traffic. Woo, traffic. But this has been around for a long time. Like if we look at years, okay, last year and this year. Only recently have I really pushed and pursued it. So you can see I launched the website around here in March. And I've been paying for traffic to the website. But I pay very little. For the first year, basically, this whole period of time, you can see the most I ever got in a month was 247 visitors, 270 visitors. So here, this is the biggest one. Yeah, 270 visitors. This was on a budget of 10 cents per day. So, not much money at all, right? Actually, no, it wasn't 10 cents per day. It was 20 cents per day because I made 3 ads to pay 10 cents per day on each of them. One glitched and never worked. So I ended up only having 2 ads that I each paid 10 cents on each of them. This is how much traffic that got. All right? That showed me I can get people to visit this website. So little money, and people were actually looking at it. Even though I knew the website sucked. It was just a paragraph of text that gave them a glimmer of hope and nothing more. Now it's some video that gives them hope and a little bit of information and encouragement and a little more. I'm going to work on that in the future, but for now, I want to make this video showing you guys the whole marketing strategy and everything, because I get that you guys can learn from this stuff. Because even though I don't have a paid product now, I will in the future. And if you really want to be successful with your marketing, you got to have a long-term picture. It's not about just having some random fucking affiliate link and some product and just thinking you can just pay people to go visit that and you're going to earn money. That's not the kind of shit I'm talking about. I'm talking about meaningful stuff. If you want to actually change your life, you got to do stuff consistently for a couple years. And you motherfuckers who think that you can just work 20 hours today, tomorrow, and the next week and get rich, you're going to burn yourself out and fail. You got to stop competing with all these people who want to earn money now. Seriously, just compete with the people who are more patient because there's way less of them. You'll have way less competition, way more happiness, way more fulfillment, and way more money. You want to be in a point where money is like water to you? It's something that exists, but you have so much of it for whatever time you spend and things you've done. Well, guess what? You got to stop focusing on it if you want that to happen. Do you focus on water? Huh? Yet you would die without it. You would die in 3 days. Yet it's abundant to you. Huh, weird. How do we deal with that? You got to get to that same headspace with money. All right? So, the website had been around for a while. But I hadn't improved it much. Then I recently was like, okay, you know what? I really have enough. I have enough to be happy. I'm a happy person. I have more than most people I'm around, and even when I lose one of my income streams, I still have a quality of life of few people I see here. I am grateful, and I don't personally need that much more. What I need is to do more actual help. I don't mean looking like I'm helping. I don't mean donating to some charity. I don't mean making some video showing people that I'm feeding people. I mean, how do I influence people? How do I bring information to people who change their family? How do I help these people help themselves. I really started to feel these emotions. I can't escape it. It's overwhelming me. I can't focus on other things in my life because I have things inside of me that I can make into products that change people's lives. And it is my responsibility to do what I can every day, even if it's little, so that at least if I die soon, there's something. I don't have to finish all of it before I die, because who knows? Maybe I die in a month, a year, 2 years. That won't be enough time. But I can live every day doing something to make it better for these people. And it's something very little. If you want to know the math, to introduce a Nicaraguan person, or any person basically in the rest of the world, because believe it or not, if you're listening to this and you're from the US or a developed nation, you're the minority. There's more people who are like this in Nicaragua who $5 an hour is good money for. $5 an hour is good money for most of the world. It's just the developed countries that shit. The rest of the world, that's literally enough. It's enough to start. It's not enough for everything you need, but it's certainly a hell of a lot better than dying in a mine or the manual labor of material resource access. I keep looking at the center of the camera, but the camera's over here, isn't it? As you can see, I get emotional. And that's what's basically happened. I would just occasionally have these emotions in this period, and then recently I've been like, no, I can do something every day. I can change this. So I started by improving the website and making it better. And now I see what this needs to be. I can see it clearly. Right now, this will help somebody who's probably already pretty close to helping themselves. But it's not going to convince a person who's skeptical, and that's the headspace of most people. I can build it more. It just needs more videos in Spanish that are short. That's basically it. It needs to be a long list of videos, and the person the first couple times will watch the first 2 or 3, but then they can't just keep watching the videos, and people just need a path, and this can be their path. Because it doesn't matter what they do today. What matters is what they do every single day moving forward. Can I do something today that makes them do something every day for a month? Because if they just look at one video, one 30-second, 60-second video every day, and they do that for a year, that's enough. That's enough to convince them. That's enough for them to see the opportunity. But I need consistent access to their headspace. I need to become a voice in their heads, a voice of encouragement, so that every time they hear that defeatist, US invoked perspective that they are less because of where they are from, that they have less opportunity because they don't live in the United States, every time they hear that voice in their head, they can hear me saying, no, fuck that, that's wrong. Because these people are more likely to succeed working online than someone in the United States. And that's the great irony. The people in the third world countries are more likely to succeed online because they need less. And it's easier to earn $400 or $500 a month than it is to earn $2,000 to $4,000. A US person needs to earn like $1,000 to feel like it's real and to be like, maybe you can earn money online. Whereas a Nicaraguan person will feel like it's real if they just earn $100. And when I say Nicaraguan, you can exchange this for any third world country, so to speak. You have to believe in yourself. If you want to market and really get something out of it. Like, look at this. Okay, this new advertising campaign that I've been talking about has cost me $17.32. It has brought me over 1,450 unique visitors, okay? Think about that for a second. That's not impressions, right? That's not people just seeing that the ad's there. And it's not people just actually watching the ad. That is people who felt inspired enough or curious enough to click on the ad and visit the website. It only cost me $1, less than $1 a day, $17.32 for over 1,000 people to know what my product is and who I am. To recognize my face. Because that's what you should think about. All right, everybody. I think that's it for now. I know there's a lot I could get into about AdSense and the specifics and demographics and all that bullshit, but I don't think that's kind of the important stuff because all the things I've gone over, you get the gist of it. You need to have a product that you care about, that's meaningful to you, that actually can do something for other people. You need to figure out how to apply competition theory and interaction theory to get a person to actually purchase something from you. And you need to constantly be asking yourself, how can I earn money in a year or two? Not today. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. See you next time, all right? Ciao.